An intercostal muscle strain is an injury to the muscles in between the ribs. I am going to discuss general and specific guidelines that you can use to help yourself to recover from this injury. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to today's episode of Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report, where I'm going to discuss rehabilitation of an intercostal muscle strain. The length of time that it will take you to recover from an intercostal muscle strain depends on the severity of the strain. It can be very quick, it can be 2 weeks, or it can be an extended period of time. Many times there is a long recovery period for an intercostal muscle strain. I did a video on the intercostal muscle strain, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about the symptoms and about how it occurs. And I have also done a 2 minutes of anatomy video on the intercostal muscles. So I'm not going to get into the anatomy in this video. I'm going to get straight to the rehabilitation. I will post links in the description box for the 2 videos that I just mentioned. Now let's get started. The general guidelines for any type of rehabilitation, but when we speak of the intercostal muscle strain, again, you want to realize that the severity is something that is the main factor in how long it takes you to recover. There is usually a long recovery time frame. The general guidelines include always work through a symptom-free range of motion, even if that range of motion is minuscule. Never perform an exercise that elicits or intensifies symptoms. If an exercise elicits or intensifies symptoms, you want to stop immediately and modify that exercise or skip that exercise and find a viable substitute. You want to start at your current health, strength, and fitness levels. And always remember, you are rehabilitating an injury. You are not training for a competition. Let me repeat that. You are rehabilitating an injury. You are not training for a competition. When you're performing a stretch, move into the stretch slowly. Hold a mild, comfortable stretch and move out of the stretch slowly. You want to increase intensity in all type of exercises in small, gradual, calculated increments. You want to get adequate rest between your rehabilitation sessions, and you also want to make sure that you get adequate rest between your training sessions. For example, if you have an intercostal muscle strain and you are performing the rehabilitation, and you may be able to train your legs while you're doing that, you want to make sure that you are getting adequate rest between your injury rehabilitation sessions and between your leg training sessions. Utilize sound nutritional and supplementation strategies that work for you. Maintain detailed training, rehabilitation, and nutritional journals. Continually modify your program to what provides you the best results. For the specific rehabilitation exercises that you want to perform for intercostal muscle strain, you want to start with normal breathing. Normal breathing is also known as diaphragmatic breathing and belly breathing. You want to start in a supine position, which means you are laying on your back. I have a video where I describe the proper procedure and the proper techniques for performing normal breathing. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description box below so you can check that out. But that is where you want to start. Again, perform normal breathing in the supine position as your first step in the specific techniques when you are rehabilitating an intercostal muscle strain. Gradually advance to using the rib cage while breathing. Expand the rib cage slowly while inhaling, then exhale slowly. Perform these motions through a symptom-free range of motion, even if the amount of motion is very small. Gradually increase the amount of rib cage expansion. Start in a supine position and slowly advance to seated, quadruped, and standing positions. Start with your arms by your sides and gradually advance to placing the arms in a number of positions, such as 90-degree angles from the trunk and then overhead. Advance the arm positions in small, gradual, calculated increments. The next step is to perform slow and controlled rib cage and spinal motion exercises through a symptom-free range of motion. Even if that motion is minuscule, you still want to perform the motion. When we speak about seated spinal motions, you can perform left rotation, right lateral flexion, left lateral flexion, flexion which is bending forward, and extension. You want to move slowly and in a controlled manner through a symptom-free range of motion. You want to start with your hands on your hips and gradually advance to placing the arms in a number of positions, such as 90-degree angles from the body and then overhead. Advance the arm positions in small, gradual, calculated increments. The next step is to advance to slow, static stretches of the spine. Move into the stretch slowly, hold a mild, comfortable stretch, then move out of the stretch slowly. Again, advance to slow, static stretches of the trunk. Move into the stretch slowly, hold a mild, comfortable stretch, then move out of the stretch slowly. You can perform stretches where you are bending to the left, then bending to the right, where you are rotating to the left, then rotating to the right. You can perform flexion where you are bending forward, and you can perform extension, which is when you are bending backwards. Proceed to strength training starting very light and gradually increase the resistance. Remember when I spoke about the general guidelines, I stated that you want to start at your current health, fitness, and strength levels. So you want to make sure that you are working at your current levels, not at the levels that you used to do before you were injured or the levels that you used to use when you were younger. Start with the proper amount of resistance for your current strength levels, and you want to advance very slowly and gradually when you are increasing the amount of resistance. The next step is to slowly advance to sport-specific training. Whatever activities that you are participating in, you want to slowly incorporate those activities into your training. Now it is time for the disclaimer. Please remember that watching this video does not take the place of working with a medical professional, a fitness professional, or a rehabilitation specialist. Please see a medical professional to get the proper evaluation, diagnosis, and treatment. Again, please remember that seeing this video does not take the place of seeing a medical professional. Thank you everybody for watching today's video on the Intercostal Muscle Strain Rehab. Again, I have a video on the intercostal muscle strain and on the anatomy of the intercostal muscles. So please watch those so you know a little bit more before watching this video. Hopefully this video has provided you some useful information on recovering from an intercostal muscle strain. This can be a very painful and performance limiting condition, and it can be a very frustrating condition because it limits us in the very things that we need to do every day, and that is breathing and moving. So please watch this video, start at your current health, fitness, and strength levels, and gradually increase those resistance levels while you are recovering from this injury. I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I am the author of Running, Maximize Performance and Minimize Injuries. You can visit my website, championshipchiropractic.com, where you can get additional information on the book, and you can also find my blog. My blog contains articles on sports medicine, on chiropractic care, on nutrition, fitness, and health. Please feel free to like, this video. If you have questions, feedback, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. I would greatly appreciate that. And always remember to train hard, but train smart. Get adequate rest between your training sessions. Utilize nutritional and supplementation strategies that work for you. Always rehabilitate your injuries. Prevent your injuries. Do everything you can to prevent your injuries and accomplish your goals.